Dear brothers and sisters, the brothers who are gathered in the chapter decided to follow the words of Brother Timothy in today's homily, that they could elect a brother who is not necessarily the most intelligent in the room. And they did so. So please forgive them. I hope they know what they did. And if they know what they did, they are responsible, morally responsible. Now I understand what Brother Bruno feels, no? Each time he is invited to say, after saying something already, then he is invited again. Brothers and sisters, expect the master of the order to be a very good preacher. But sometimes you need to prepare, no? Had I known, I should have prepared. Dear brothers, pardon me for repeating what I said. I just want to share to the brothers that when Brother Bruno gave me a schedule to go to the different linguistic groups, the answer in my mind was no. And he told me, honor the brothers. So I said, okay, I will go. I will have to honor the request of the brothers. And I did so. And then I experienced what he experienced years ago when he told me sometimes it's difficult to go to the refectory because there are eyes looking at you. Some of you might have noticed I take the back alley in the kitchen before going to the corner because it's also, I could feel some eyes looking at me. I felt guilty, no? What wrong have I done? And it's true what I told them. The image that came to my mind after that was John the Baptist. I am not the one. I am not the one. For so many reasons, I am not the one. I am a good lieutenant, not a general. Brother Bruno knows that. It's my job to assist him. It was my duty to think as he thinks because I need to communicate what he needs to communicate. I think that backfired. You know, thinking as the master probably made some brothers think, well, he thinks like the master, so. No. I was really trying my best to best explain in the words that I could best explain what he really meant. There are so many things coming to my mind at this time. So if it is disorganized, well, please understand. There is no structure. I'm actually thinking of 9 years, you know. I'm thinking of plans that I cannot do anymore. And I think that is true. Somebody said, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Because God would have his own plans. I would just like to repeat what I told the commissions. Brother Bruno is inviting the entire order to think about the mission of the order. And I wish to share these too with the brothers and sisters who are not part of these commissions. Brother Bruno mentioned that episode in the life of Dominic when he was speaking with the Pope, and Dominic insisted, we are preachers. It is not what we do, it is who we are. And that is true, because mission is not what we do. Mission is who we are. And if that is very clear, then everything will just follow. Action follows being, agere sequitur esse. Everything will follow. And therefore, we are invited, dear brothers and sisters, once again, to look at ourselves. What is really our identity as preachers of the gospel? Because we are preachers even if we are not preaching. We are preachers even if in our old age we can no longer speak and take the podium or the ambo. We are preachers even if we are not ordained. We are preachers even if we are sick. We are preachers even if we are doing serious research alone in our rooms. We are preachers when we are helping the less privileged. We are preachers. That is our identity. But of course, that would mean that all the elements that make us preachers, Dominicans, should always be present in everything that we do. Brother Bruno has mentioned in the order, at least for the friars today, there are more houses than convents. And it has a consequence on our government, which is part of our spirituality. In Bologna, I mentioned our government is democratic, and Brother Ben was quick to correct me. It is not in the Constitution. The word is communitarian. And that's true. It is communitarian. It is communal government. And if a brother is living not in community, he is a preacher. But it is not fair to ask him to do that because he is a Dominican preacher. And therefore, all the elements of our life should be there. The essence of the church is communion, concretized when this community gathers in the synaxis, the community that is gathered to celebrate the Eucharist. And the grace of the Eucharist is communion. And we are told by the Master and the Masters of the Order that we are to serve the church by who we are, a communion of brothers, helping this church become a stronger communion. But how could that happen if our communion is not that strong? And so we are invited, dear brothers, to really look not at ourselves, but at the church that we are supposed to serve and to build. We live at a time, and I think all times are like that. We live at a time when the church needs a Francis and a Dominic. There is a need for a new evangelization. And we are all called to do precisely that. As I mentioned to the brothers gathered in the chapter, this is just to share with you. When Brother Joseph Ngo Sidin came at the refectory, it's like he was announcing somebody died, no? At least that is how he looked. I was still in Polo waiting for the announcement. We were thinking there will be a white smoke or something. There was none. It was just Brother Joseph. And so I went up. Alan was with me, climbing up the stairs. The words are still no. Really, honestly, the words are still no. And then I saw Vivian and Orlando and Pablo. And I was asking them, how do I say no without offending the brothers? Then Vivian said, you saw it, the brothers prayed for the Holy Spirit. We were all there. And I said, yeah, but when I was a student, I heard about Brother Albert Nolan. In fact, in a way, I was already asking the procurator, what if the one elected refuses? What is the next step? Does it stop there? But Brother Vivian said, well, we have prayed for the Holy Spirit. You must trust the brothers. Brother Timothy Radcliffe said, there will be fear. Unlock that door that imprisons you, and we are here. We are here. In a way, at that point, these brothers serve as the Holy Spirit. Because if they were not there, I really do not know what to say. And then they invited me to go to the chapel and they prayed for me. And that gave me the courage to say the words of acceptance. It is very difficult because all my life I have looked up to the Master. And it's difficult if that's it. What else can you do? I remember the story of Saint John the 23rd. One day, and I shared this with the provincials in the workshop organized by Vivian. One day, he was thinking of the problems of the church, and then he said, never mind, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I will consult the Pope. Oh no, I am the Pope. And so he said, Lord, the Pope is tired. The Pope needs to go to bed. This is your church, not mine. Good night. I have to do that this evening. Saint Dominic, this is the order you founded. I'm still trying to figure out what to do. I am tired. And then I'll tell him, good night. But thank you for sending me the brothers. It's good that the procession was not organized right away. Because when the brothers approached me, and they either said, or both, they said, congratulations in the languages. And then they said, pray, I will pray for you. That really gave me courage. Because without that, I don't think I will be here. And so, dear brothers, let me repeat my request. When you make the acts, think, if I am the Master, can I do this? It's okay if it's difficult, for as long as we can do it. Because if you cannot, probably it's time to think, it's not worth even presenting to the plenary, because it is not something that we can do. The masters who are here, Brother Bruno and Brother Timothy, they have done a lot. And let us try to build on what they have built. Let us try to move the order to the directions that they have set. We have different visions, I know. We are Dominicans. If Dominicans agree all the time, something is wrong, because that means they are not thinking. There will be disagreements, differences, but let us talk and let us agree. And once we have agreed, I think that is my job, to be the first among brothers to say, we should do what we have set to do. And hopefully, with our prayers together, we will really be truly a powerful preaching of Dominic in our world today. We continue to pray for one another.